This is the Grind It Podcast. Just like learning a new trick in skating, life can be difficult at times. Yeah, there may be some bad slams, but there's also times of rejoicing when that trick is finally landed. We're here to help you in your journey with Jesus by studying God's Word verse by verse and sharing personal stories that will encourage you to keep grinding and to not give up. Here's that old school skater himself, Randall Tucker, and his wife, Mary. Welcome to the Grind It Podcast.
Welcome.
Where we are I gotta stay off the table. The thing squeaks too bad.
You don't notice it until we're doing this, until we're recording. And then,
Take 3.
yeah.
I know.
It's okay.
But,
All right. Squeaky table. Sorry. Disclaimer.
Yeah. So we're studying 1 Corinthians 13, where Paul has told the church at Corinth that there's a more excellent way. It's like you can have all these gifts of the Spirit, but I'm going to show you a more excellent way, a better way. Love.
How about you love each other?
Love.
It's the greatest 2 commands.
Yeah.
Right.
Love God and love your neighbor. Who's my neighbor? Everybody.
Everybody.
Everybody. Mm-hmm. And so, so we're going to do a quick review because we got a lot to talk about in this podcast too, even though it's just a few verses to finish up the chapter.
Okay.
But why don't you pray first, then we'll go right in.
Okay. Father, thank you that you loved us so much that you sent your only Son to die, to be the propitiation for our sin, to be the sacrifice so that we could have communion and fellowship with you. We praise you for this incredible love. And we ask you, Lord, would you give us that same love for other people around us? Even when people are unlovely towards us or unloving in how they interact. Lord, help us to love them in the same way that you love us. Unconditionally. Enough to put our lives on the line. Yeah. God, we ask for wisdom. We ask for revelation, knowledge, and understanding. We ask for discernment as we read your word today. Let it not puff up, but let us be infused with your love as we chew on this, as we meditate on your word. We ask it in Jesus' mighty name. Amen.
So we do want to mention, before we get knee deep into this, Friday, we're having the worship at the park again, at Louisville Point Park in Louisville, Tennessee, from 5 to about 8. Supper will start at 5. Mm-hmm. So come on out if you're in the area. We'd love to have you.
Louisville Point Park in Louisville, Tennessee.
Yeah, just right outside Maryville and Knoxville, Alcoa. But the theme is home is where the heart is. Mm-hmm. It's not what you think. So Shelby started off the study by reading 1 Corinthians 13, and it's not long.
13 verses.
Yeah. But he starts off by talking about if I could speak in the tongues of men and angels, because that's what he had just prior talked to them about in chapter 12. He says, if I don't have love, remember he said, I'm just making a lot of noise. I'm a noisy cymbal.
Blaring brass or a clanging cymbal.
Yeah. If I have, and this is the SV, if I have prophetic powers and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, if I have all faith, as remove mountains, but I don't have love, I'm nothing. And we talk about how Jesus said it, you have the faith of the grain of mustard seed, and you can move mountains. Mm-hmm. Paul says if you can do that and you don't love, you ain't nothing. You have nothing. If I give away all that I have, and we've given away a lot of stuff, we ain't giving away all that we have. Mm-hmm. Right? But he said, if I give everything away and I deliver my body up to be burned, but if I don't have love, I gain nothing. Mm-hmm. Love's patient. So what he does here is after all that, and what we did in the last couple podcasts was, so he says, here, you got to have love, Love here is agape love. It's unconditional love. And in the Greek, it's noun. It's a noun. Agape love is a noun. But instead of using adjectives to describe what agape love is, he uses verbs, which is weird because that would drive an English teacher crazy. And verbs are action words. They're doing words. They produce action. And so he goes through love is patient, love is kind. But looking through my notes, love is patient. So patient, we said it means to be of long spirit, not to lose heart. So for King James would say forbearing or long suffering. I like to use that word, long suffering. Because Christian people sometimes cannot be very long suffering. They got a short fuse. I'll leave it at that. Kind. The word kind in the Greek is Christouemi, or something like that. Very long, hard to say. But the Greek word means to show oneself useful or benevolently. Well, you know, a lot of churches in their
pulling
budget
that
have
up too.
a benevolence fund.
Right.
Paul says love is not jealous or boastful or proud or rude. It does not demand its own way. It's not irritable. It keeps no record of being wronged. We talked about that. The word boastful is a very long Greek word that means a self-display, employing rhetorical embellishments and extolling oneself excessively, or like bragging.
Yeah, mine says brag.
Yeah. So love is not a braggart.
Are we on 4? There?
Yeah.
Or yeah.
Yeah. Not jealous, not boastful, not proud.
Yeah.
Use that word.
And we brought up the example of the Pharisees and how they like people to see them. They were very bragging, and they were always like, "Well, I'm glad I'm not like that guy over there. I give this much. I do this." Bragging about how much stuff they give to God and do for God. And Jesus said, "Their lips, they honor me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me." The King James Version uses the word puffed up, which is phaseo, and it talks about. We talked about that when he was talking about the unleavened bread, or when the leaven is in the bread and it puffs up. Makes me think of Mrs. Puff on SpongeBob. Verse 5: love is not rude. Does not demand its own way. It's not irritable. It keeps no record of being wrong. And the rude in the Greek is a very hard word to say. We already talked about this, so I'm not going to dig in that deep. But I'm trying to find what it means to disgrace or shame or dishonor somebody. Love is not irritable. That word means to stimulate, to spur on, to urge, like to irritate or provoke.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to just keep,
Poking
you till you get irritated. Love doesn't do that. Love doesn't keep a record of being wronged. In the Greek word, there's logizomai. You hear the word logos in that. And we talked about how that means. I think you brought a log, like you're keeping record on and we talked about not a sketch. What was it? The little pad thing that when you raise the
Magnadoodle.
Was it Magnadoodle? Is that what they were calling? You take the pen, you can write on it, but then you just pick it up and it'll erase it. It's all gone. That's what love does. Verse 6 says, love does not rejoice about injustice, but rejoices when truth wins out. Or King James says, rejoices not in iniquity. And then love doesn't, that's the same verse. Love doesn't rejoice at wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. Are we ready for the... Yeah, verse 7. Yeah, Shelby, just start reading at verse 7 and then read the rest throughout the chapter again.
Okay. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails, but where there are prophecies, they will cease. Where there are tongues, they will be stilled. Where there is knowledge, it'll pass away. For we know in part and we prophesy in part. But when completeness comes, what is in part disappears. When I was a child, I talked like a child. I thought like a child, I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I put the ways of childhood behind me. For now we only see a reflection as in a mirror. Then we shall see face to face. Now I know in part, then I shall know fully, even as I am fully known. And now these three remain, faith, hope, and love, but the greatest of these is love.
Okay, so when Paul started writing his letter, first thing he, because they're asking questions and he's answering their questions, but then sometimes he's going to throw some stuff in there. And the first thing that he hits them with is division, right? Mm-hmm. They got all this division going on. So obviously they're not loving like they should be loving. And that's one of the reasons why he's writing this, is to tell them you should be loving, and your goal is to be unified. Because they're not, when they meet together, he says it's not to partake of the Lord's Supper, even though that's what they were doing, but there's all this division. The little cliquish crowd over here is leaving out this crowd over here, and they're getting drunk off the wine, they're eating all the food, while these people get nothing, right? Mm-hmm. But you remember when during the part where he's talking about the young man sleeping with his stepmother, and what ends up happening in between all the sex talk, right in the middle of it, like a little Oreo cookie, the vanilla in the Oreo cookie, is he talks about them going to court and how they shouldn't be going. They should be handling things inside the church.
Believers.
Yeah. And so, what you see here in this verse 7. What does your verse 7 say? Is that your Jewish version or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Verse 7 says, love always bears up, always trusts, always hopes, always endures.
So love bears up?
Mm-hmm. Love always bears up.
Okay. Because
trusts.
ESV says love bears all things. Because we're going to talk about these 4 things. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Something that they were not doing a very good job of.
Completely different. Mine's weird compared to how your guys.
I know, but read yours again. Read the very first one.
It always protects.
That is a very good translation. It's a very, very good translation. And I've never. This is why I love doing the podcast, because it makes me study, which I do a lot of anyway. But then I get to share it with people, and especially with you guys. And so the word here, when Paul says love bears all things, it's what our version says. Mm-hmm. But the NIV says love protects. It literally means both. But I think protects is a better translation. Mm-hmm. I think the NIV got this one right. The Greek word is stego, and it literally means to roof over. Mm-hmm. To roof over. So what is a roof for?
To protect, right?
Cover you.
Yeah, to cover you.
Protect, cover.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. To protect or keep by covering, to preserve. That's what the word means in the Greek. All right, so listen real careful to this definition, because this goes along with it in the Greek. When you look it up in Greek, to cover over with silence, to keep secret, to hide, conceal. Hides and excuses the errors and the faults of others. That's what this word, when it says love bears all things, and then NIV says protects all things. So you have this roof that's covering all this stuff that's going on, like inside a house, that people can't see, right? It means by covering, to keep off something which threatens, to bear up against, hold out against, and so to endure, bear, or forbear. So not only does a roof cover up the ugly stuff that's going on inside, it protects against further damage. Right? It's like when it rains, a roof protects from water damage. Mm-hmm. It holds the water away. It directs. That's why people we have gutters around the house. Well, why do we have gutters? Well, what's a gutter for?
To direct the water.
Yeah. So the rain comes down. The rains come down and the floods come. That's what we've been singing that song a lot lately. Well, we haven't been singing that song, but we've been in a lot of rain, and the floods are coming up. But the rains come down no matter how hard, unless you got a leak in your roof. But for the most part, our house is dry, right? The stuff on the inside of our home is protected, and we're protected. We don't get wet when it rains.
Right.
But the water hits the roof, and then it runs down the roof into a gutter, and then the gutters take the water and disperse the water to both sides of the house, and then down the spouts, and then out in the yard somewhere, right, wherever that runs to.
Or rain barrels.
Yeah, or overflowing rain barrels, right?
There's that.
So change that to snow, right? When it snows, well, we don't get a whole lot of snow, but when we do get a decent sized snow, right? The snow is heavy, but the roof bears the weight of the snow until the sun melts the snow, and then the snow turns into a liquid, and then again, the roof redirects the melted snow elsewhere. But again, what is on the inside of the house is protected, right?
Right.
This is the idea of agape love. Roof. It bears all things. Love bears all things. It keeps quiet. Unless you got a metal roof, and that can be a little noisy, right?
Ding, ding.
I love to hear a metal roof when it rains on a metal roof. But love keeps things quiet. It covers the ugly stuff on the inside, and it protects from further damage. Love does not text a friend or friends. It does not gossip about things that's going on. Something that I haven't done a very good job of with in the past. Because what do? When somebody hurts us or wrongs us, the first thing we want to do is go tell somebody. And many bodies, a lot of people sometimes. And Paul says that's not love. The junk that's going on stays under the roof. It doesn't leave the house. It doesn't leave the protection. The roof keeps it quiet, and it keeps it from any further damage.
Yeah.
Love bears it.
Bears up. Always trusts.
This is, always
What
trust.
does yours say?
Always trust.
Say again.
Trust.
Love always
Is that the second
bears
one?
up.
For you?
But then on this NIV, on this one, it says believes.
Yeah, that's what this thing is. So I've mixed the ESV with the New Living Translation, so I'm not sure which one's which at this point. But this one says, love believes all things, and the word here is pistuo. Well, what do we get from pistuo?
Pistuo is what we were talking about. I mean, we preached about it at one point. It's faith,
Yeah, exactly.
right? And
thought that
you've
you guys
talked
used
many times about how this translation specifically often says faith instead of trust, right? Or believes. It's interesting. Those are all so intricately connected.
Yeah, and we're just talking about another word with that word here in just a second. But the word pistuo, it means to place confidence in. To place confidence in. So like when you go to sit into a chair, you just sit down in it without even thinking about it. Was this thing going to hold me up or not, right? So you just, you're going to have to let her out. The prayer kitty wants out.
My wonderful wife, Mary, from the Ground Up Podcast, has been a worship leader for over 20 years. She has written and performed many songs that you would absolutely love. To hear her music, check out our website at www.marygamboamusic.com or our website at thegoat.org. That's THEGOTE. Or you can find the links to these websites in the show notes. Now, back to the podcast.
She's like, I had enough of y'all. I don't want to pistuo. So when you sit down in a chair, you just sit down without even thinking about it, right? You have confidence in that chair, and you trust. You put all your confidence in that chair that it's going to hold you off the ground. Right? And this is what Paul says love does. Since love bears all things, you can put your full confidence in it. You can trust love. They couldn't say that in their congregation, amongst their people, because of all the division going on and the withholding from one another and all this sinful stuff that's going on in this church. And he's like, look, you're holy because you have Jesus, but y'all are missing it. You're missing out bad. You're not loving. You got this talent over here. Oh, you want to stand up over here, mister? I'm so full of wisdom. And you got to stand out because, you want Jesus to see you. That's what he was saying chapter 2 ago. And he's like, oh, well, let me tell you about this more excellent way. Let me tell you about love, something you're not doing. You're not loving, and I'm about to show you how you are not loving and how you should be loving.
Ever hear about the past? I think you guys may have heard about it. Like the pastor, he just started going to a church, so he disguised himself as a homeless guy to see how many people in the congregation would address him or talk to him, and how all the people just walk past him. And he walked to the front at the beginning of service, and he did the whole thing on love.
Yep.
And they all just walked past him because he kind of disguised himself. And I was like, that'd be hard.
Yeah. But since love bears all things, you can put your full confidence in it. You can trust it. And so a question I put in my notes is, does that describe us? First of all, us three
In
at
the
this
name
table.
of Jesus, yes, Lord. And obviously, we all fall short of the glory, right? Even on our best days, our righteousness is filthy rags. But Lord, may we be people who you can trust, who he can trust us to do what he's called us to do. But the other people can also place their trust in, because we're going to be people of integrity or people of our word.
Yeah.
And we're going to do our best to steward everything as unto him.
Yep.
But I realize that a lot of people don't trust, don't believe, don't have faith in other people because of a record of being hurt.
Well, what I say all the time, I've said it numerous times today. I don't trust anybody. And that's why. Butt hurt from a lot of people. Church hurt, butt
Wait,
hurt.
say that again into the microphone.
What? From a lot of people?
That your butt hurt over.
Yeah. Butt hurt, church hurt, you name it.
Right.
There's all kind of hurts. And it's like I've told you, and I know it's not true. It's an exaggerated statement, but I've said people who say I love you, they disappear. They just leave. And they're like, what the crap? Where'd you go? Why are you leaving? You love me, but you're out the door. Why? Oh, you don't want to talk about it? Okay. So I got to start role-playing in my head to figure out what's going on and why you're leaving? I know it's dangerous, but that's what we do.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
When left to our own human fleshly devices, yeah.
Yeah. But love that Paul talks, agape love, is putting full confidence in people no matter what. And I ain't there. I ain't there. Jesus wasn't there either. I mean, that's a weird statement to say, because love, he had the greatest love of all, but he could see people's hearts, and he knew people's hearts, and he knew their and so he had issues with people. I'm not saying he didn't love them, because he did. He loved them.
God is love.
Yeah, God is love.
Jesus is love.
Yeah. So I have to be careful what I say, how I word that. Once I said it out there, I was like, I didn't say it right.
Right.
But the church at Corinth they're just not loving. They're separating from one another, and they're only trusting a few people that's in their clique. And we see this in churches today, no matter how big or how small. All right. There's just some people that we don't believe them, and we don't have full confidence in them. and we don't trust them. Or at least for me, I can't speak for y'all. I'm just saying, at least for me. Love hopes all things is the third one. Mm-hmm. Love hopes all things. And so this is, pistuo, right? We talk about pistuo. Mm-hmm. Well, this word is elpidzo. And you hear the,
You guys preached another message on the word elpis.
That's what I was fixing to say.
Elpis.
You hear the word elpis in this elpidzo. And again, it's where we get our word faith, meaning to wait with anticipation. To wait with anticipation. So elpidzo then means to expect or confide in with full confidence. Now you think the context that Paul's is saying this in.
Wait, say that again?
The word elpidzo, so you get the word elpis out of that. Mm-hmm. One of the root words. Again, it's where we get our word faith, meaning to wait with anticipation. Mm-hmm. So when you put all this together, what we just talked about, elpidzo then means to expect or confide in with full confidence. Mm-hmm. And they were not doing this, and when Paul says, when you come together, you're not right, you're not loving. They're definitely not waiting on one another. Mm-hmm. They're chomping they're eating all the food, and they're not waiting for the other people to come and join in. They're not partaking together. Mm-hmm. They're just jumping right in and leaving people out. They're not waiting with expectation. So I thought of Romans 8:23 through 25. Shelby, you want to read Romans 8:23 through 25, or you want me to read it?
I can.
I'm throwing that on you real quick. Romans 8:23 through 25.
Okay. Not only so, but we ourselves who have the first fruits of the Spirit groan inwardly as we wait eagerly for our adoption to sonship, the redemption of our bodies. For in this hope we were saved, but hope that is seen is no hope at all. Who hopes for what they already have? But if we hope for what we do not yet have, we wait for it patiently.
We wait for how?
Patiently.
We do what with it? We wait for it patiently. Hope here is not, I hope this happens. Like a wish. Hope is not, because there's a guy named Brother Ford, this old man at this church I went to a long time ago, and he could never understand that this word does not mean hope. Like, I hope I'm saved, or I hope I have a chocolate pie waiting on me later, which is that's not gonna happen. But that's the example I always use. It's not that kind of hope. This is a hope. This hope is a waiting with confidence. Like you fully expect it to happen. Mm-hmm. It's going to happen. And Paul says, love hopes all things. Mm-hmm. You fully expect, you have full confidence that it's going to happen, and you're just waiting with eager anticipation. Mm-hmm. Well, does that describe us? Not me.
We're an impatient generation.
Very impatient.
Microwave.
We wanted it 3 weeks ago.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Amazon overnight. Oh, wait, I can get it in an hour? Yes.
Yeah.
But you almost think of like little kids like on Christmas morning or even growing up. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like kids that are waiting to open presents or waiting to do something.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember
They're eagerly expecting.
I was standing there with somebody the other day. Some dude, one of my friends, I can't remember who it was. Doesn't matter. But it almost came to me. But their internet, it was still fast. It was super fast. But he made a comment like, oh, my internet's running slow. And I was like, dude, you should try dial-up. Because he was too young for dial-up. And I'm like, I was here when the internet came out. Or whatever. So I remember the little disc you put in Juno and all that. And the AOL. And you had to put the... the thing always
Did that?
Oh, yeah.
It made funky sounds.
Super loud, yeah. And but my point is, he was like, "Oh, I'm having to wait," and it was like a second, and I was like, "No, that was still fast." So but this is what society has trained us to be like. Oh, I gotta have it right now, yesterday, or whatever, whatever.
Now you can send a message to somebody halfway on the other side of the world instantly.
Yeah,
And not sending a letter or something.
yeah, you can FaceTime with somebody on the other side of the world, and it's just like you're there, or whatever. These times, they are changing. So hope is waiting with confidence, and you fully expect it to happen. Well, and then that's what love is. I want to know what love is.
Want you to show me.
And I'm just thinking, when you don't trust people, you don't expect anything from them. You don't expect
And
anything.
unfortunately, that's born often out of hurt, right? It's born out of experience being hurt, because when I have expected something in the past and somebody didn't deliver on that, then it left a vacuum of disappointment, right? It left a hole in frustration, anger, depression, all kinds of negative emotions can come in to fill that,
And
that void.
and don't give Satan a what?
Foothold.
A foothold, space, because he takes all of that and just starts pounding it into your head, and you get the whispers.
That's why it's take every thought captive.
Yeah, think on these things. And you really physically have to do that. You have to wrestle with this. You have to just cut it off at the root, and
Fruit ninja.
yeah, you can't let it. If you start to let it fester and grow, then it starts to mess with your head. So love is waiting in confidence for this thing promised to take place. Love is patient. Love is long-suffering. Love does not force something to happen by manipulating people or situations,
Right.
which is what we tend to do when things aren't going our way or what we expect. Because and I put my notes, what you just said, we're so impatient. So we start manipulating things because we want it to happen now in the way we want it to happen. So what does Hebrews 11:1 say? Now faith, right?
It's being sure of what you hope for, certain of things that you do not see.
Okay, so watch this. So faith, pistis, is the substance of things hoped for, elpidzo, the evidence of things not seen. So in other words, faith is not blind trust. There is a substance, there's evidence, right? And we are waiting with anticipation. That's what faith is. When you put that whole verse together. So you go back to the chair example. We can see that the chair has legs, and the legs aren't broken. We can see that the seat part is solid, and that our butts won't fall through. Right? It's not hollow.
Lord willing.
But if there were some defects on the chair, we could see them, hopefully, unless somebody pulling a prank on us. So in faith and full confidence, we sit in the chair. This is what love is. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things with full confidence. Again, not a hope this leaf turns fully green tomorrow and no more black, right? No, it's not that kind of hope.
Well, speak life. It's okay, baby.
So then Paul says, "Love endures all things." Is this the fourth one? Love endures all things.
Hupomeno.
Yeah, hupomeno, which means to stay. Okay, so you get two words. You got meno and hupo, or hupo and meno. I got that backwards. Hupo means under, and to stay. Meno means to stay. The word literally means to persevere under pressure. So if you're bearing something, you're holding it up, right? You're holding it up. But so if you buckle under the pressure, what happens to what you're holding? it comes crashing down, right? We see this with structures and buildings, especially. I saw a thing, the earthquake ring thing we saw. They had like 176 earthquakes in like 7 days.
Gosh.
I've seen that
In a variety of places
a couple
around
of days
the globe.
ago. Yeah,
That's a lot.
yeah. And they said California's due.
Or what?
California was due.
Do.
Due
Like a-
for an
They
earthquake.
said doomed. I was like,
No, due because some Columbia or somebody just had like a 7.6. It was really bad. So if you buckle like these buildings, they buckle under the pressure. They're not able to withstand the shaking or whatever. But like when we go paddleboarding and we go under these bridges, I'm looking at the bridge, because like somebody come through on a boat and saw like this bridge, this long bridge that cars drive over, that had just gotten inspected, but the inspector missed this huge crack. I can't remember where this bridge was. This was a couple of years ago, I think. And a boat was passing by and saw the crack, and turned it in, and they had to shut the bridge down to repair the bridge. But it'd been bad if that would have buckled under pressure, right? So, but you see this with structures and buildings. Over time, the weight that they're holding becomes too much, and they'll buckle under pressure. Ding, 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 diggy, ding, ding. Ding, 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 diggy, ding, ding.
Under pressure.
you know what I saw today driving to work where they were building that new Walmart? I've never seen a helicopter lift these giant storage containers
Oh, no.
over, like carrying it over vehicles and cars. I was thinking to myself, like, if that fell,
Yeah, but buckle under the pressure.
yeah.
So in December 11th, 2010, the Minnesota Vikings NFL football team, they're preparing to play the New York Giants in a football game at the Metrodome in Minneapolis. The Metrodome was their dome stadium. The Metrodome was completed and used in April 1982 for the first time. 28 years later, during a football season, and also winter in Minnesota, something happened. Something bad happened. The teams ignored the weather reports and continued with their team meetings. And this blizzard come, and they got a lot of snow fast. So listen to what the former Vikings defensive end Jared Allen said. He says, you're in a dome, right? So weather's never even in the forecast for the game plan. So it just never even registered with them. It's Minnesota. It snows a lot. We've done this for 28 years. No big deal.
Yeah.
Right. So he says this because the roof of the Superdome collapsed under the weight of the heavy snow.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, it had held up in snowstorms for years and years until it didn't. For 28 years, a special made roof held the snow up and off the field, but it snowed so much, so fast, it overwhelmed the roof and it collapsed.
Wow. Was that during a game?
No, nobody got hurt. But,
Praise the Lord.
yeah,
But I can
They're
imagine
getting
if
ready
that
for a game.
happened
During a game.
during a game with the stands full of people, what
Yeah.
devastation that would have brought.
so think about that for a second, and this collapsing under pressure, right? Something's overwhelmed. You ever felt overwhelmed?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd be lying if I said no.
Yeah, being overwhelmed so much that it's about just life and things happen.
Circumstances,
And, yeah, And it seems like so the Atlanta Braves used to put a tarp out on the field when I used to go watch Dale Murphy and the Atlanta Braves play when I was a teenager or kid, and it said when it rains it pours. Right, and the tattoo on my arm says "No rain, no flowers." And it just means, life happens and it gets hard sometimes. And you can get overwhelmed. And and it's easy to buckle under the pressure instead of bearing. That's why it's so important that we bear one another up. You're right. Exhort one another, encourage one another. Hebrews 10, 24 and 25. Love one another. Don't forsake the assembly. And that's not beating people up over that. It just means y'all need each other. Come together.
Yeah.
Come
It's
together.
like when Aaron held Moses' arms up.
Yeah, Aaron and her. Yeah. Yeah.
Exodus 17. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to the Grind It Podcast. We want to encourage you to share Jesus with someone today and share this podcast with a friend, a coworker, and your family. And we also want to know how we can encourage you to keep grinding and to not give up. So in order to do that, just email us your prayer request at thegrinditpodcast@gmail.com or contact us on our website at www.thegoat, that's THEGOTE.org, or you can just look in the show notes and click the link. Have a blessed day, our friend.